Greetings and salutations. Today we'll take a look at Ragnar Drums and Runeforge Fenrir from Solemn Tones. So first we'll start with Runeforge Fenrir. There's not a lot to say about it. It's an amp sim. I don't even know exactly what it's based on, but I'll tell you what, it's got some killer tones. There are a few things that I wish they could have added a little bit more, like an actual cab section, instead of just, they've got 5 IRs basically. It comes with the usual stuff, IR loader, some stomp boxes, you get usual delay, chorus, and reverb. They say they use machine learning to accurately model a real amp's gain, but I don't know what that means because it sounds like a lot of other plugins I've used. I mean, it sounds good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Sometimes I think certain companies just put out big words, but that's okay, it still sounds good. I did find the noise gate a little flabby, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't have a really sharp cutoff. It's sort of, honestly, I don't even know how to explain it. You really got to use it to understand it, but I really didn't like the noise gate on this. It has all the usual controls. I mean, like most amp sims these days, they all sort of become very similar after a while. Like I said, the one thing I didn't like was no real cab section. I like to sort of fine tune my cabs and that a little bit when I'm using a plugin. I know you can do it with EQ, but it's not quite the same. Honestly, from the demo song you just heard, it's got a really solid tone. There's no clean. You can do almost clean, but not quite clean. So the bit at the start of the demo track that I just did is Fenrir as well. But as you can tell, it's more of just a high gain amp. So then we come to Ragnar Drums. Now this is honestly the highlight. First, I do have to say that I reached out to Solemn Tones and they graciously granted me a copy of it to show you guys, which I was really excited about. Thank you to Solemn Tones, I really appreciate it. These drums are so fat and really probably the biggest sounding plugin I've ever heard for drums. There's not many that get this monstrous sound. You get 5 snares, 5 kicks, 3 sets of toms, and 18 cymbals. I mean, 18 cymbals, that's crazy. One thing I do like, they also give you an extra like cymbal stand. Basically, think of it as a cymbal stand in a plugin. So you can put an extra cymbal in there if you want to, which I think is great because a lot of times they only come, most plugins only come with 2 cymbals, and it's kind of annoying because I like to have another cymbal that's a little quieter in the mix, that for just when you're riding on it, you know. instead of using the same cymbals. It makes it good to have a bit of diversity there. The other thing is, they stress the point that you don't need contact player or anything. It is its own standalone plugin. That never really bothered me in the first place because I've never had a trouble with contact. Everyone complains about contact, but I've never really had any dramas with it. So maybe it's just me, but I mean, it's good that they have their standalone thing. I did have a problem where if you install not on the C drive, like so I installed on the E drive because I like to keep my C drive clear for just Windows and stuff. Basically, when I went to load up the plugin, there were no presets or anything. I had nothing, there's no presets loaded. I did contact them and they said install on the C drive. And apparently this is a bug that they're aware of and they're gonna fix it in version 1.1. So that's good news. It has a full built-in mixing section. It's not as detailed as some other drum plugins I've used. You can still use like do EQ, you know, some compression, some dynamics, all that sort of stuff. It does have 3 modes. You got one called Smash, which is like a really over-processed mode, and it makes the drum sound massive, like huge. Then you got the Pro mode. I actually preferred this one the best. It's not quite as over the top as Smash. And then you got Raw if you want to, you know, multi-out to different tracks and just do it yourself. It's just the raw drums. So I like the Pro mode. That's what you heard in the demo. And I felt that just sat in my mix better. I know some people like to Smash, they use a lot bigger guitars than me. I like my guitars a little tighter and stuff. So, but it's definitely a damn good plugin. I mean, the drums just sound so massive compared to most other plugins I've used. Is it my favorite? Time will tell, time will tell. You know, I've only been using it for about a week, so graciously, like I said, gave me a copy of Ragnar Drums, and then I ended up purchasing Fenrir because I wanted to do a mix of both to see how they sound. I know they do have some other bass plugins, but they're MIDI bass plugins, and I like to record my own bass. So one last thing is they added a cowbell. Now there's not many drum plugins that actually have a cowbell. I don't think I own a single drum plugin that has a cowbell, so I just wanted to chuck that in there because apparently they got a lot of requests for a cowbell, and you definitely get a cowbell in this one, so that's pretty cool. Jump over to my computer now, we'll do a mix rundown and I'll show you some of the presets by themselves and that sort of stuff. I know you haven't seen me for a while, but I thought I'd jump on and do a quick video on this one. Thank you again to Solemn Tones for sending me out a copy of Ragnar Drums. And I believe they got a November sale on, Black Friday sale. You can pick it up a lot cheaper now if this interests you, because like I said, it's great drum plugin. I'm sure a bunch of other people have done videos on it and stuff. I'm hoping to have another video out next week on another plugin I bought, so hopefully that'll be good. All right, other than that, please like and subscribe, and as always, enjoy indeed. Thanks, guys. Greetings and salutations, guys. So here we are. We're going to have a bit of a look over of the Fenrir, Runeforge Fenrir amp sim and Ragnar Drums. So we'll start with Fenrir first. All right, so this is it. Not much to it. You got some pedals, you got an EQ, gate, and a boost. The amp, like I said, I don't know what this is based on. And then the effects, you got a chorus, delay, and reverb. The thing I did find about these is they're quite subtle. They're not like very full-on effects, which is very strange, but that's okay. Not every amp sim is going to be the same, is it? All right, and like I said, you don't have an actual cab section where you can adjust the mics and that. You basically have 5 IRs, or you can load your own IRs. I thought this was a little limiting, but like I said, it still sounds great. As you can see, I just used modern rhythms, changed a couple of little like dials, didn't change too much, but this is what it sounds like. I'll just solo that track. combination of, so what I'm using on the guitar bus here is just a bit of EQ and a bit of compression. That's my EQ curve. So I'll give you a listen to the guitars as a whole. So I've got 3 guitars, 2 pan left and right, and 1 in the center, just really quiet and subtle. It's a very noisy amp, I did notice. I don't know if you can hear how noisy it is in between. And I did find, sorry to keep stopping, but I did find that when you turn the noise gate up a bit on this, like I said, it becomes a bit flabby and it's not really a hard sort of noise gate. It sort of just softly comes in, which I found really strange. That's just what I found anyway. I like the sound of it. I think it sounds amazing, but there's just a few little things about it that, you know, I'm just really not that sure about. But of course there's a motorbike idiot going past. Alright, so I've got to run through a couple of the presets here. That's the modern rhythms tone. Then you've got the core rhythm. I've got a little tiny lead bit up here, so you can hear what the lead sounds like. Let me move that for a second. And if you look, you can see I've got the effects, like, if you turn it up heaps, like, it doesn't. So it doesn't really. Sound that big like some other reverbs in other plugins. It sounds massive, and you like, that's full wet, so that's a full wet signal. It doesn't sound like a long reverb, if that makes any sense, but it still sounds good, don't get me wrong, I like it. But and then the delay, does the job. But the highlight, I think, is definitely, so that's basically Runeforge Fenrir. It's probably not my favorite plugin that I've used before, but I like it. It's good. Drums. This is where it's at. Alright, so Ragnar Drums. Alright, so I used just the bass thing, but I changed the snare to the doom snare because I like that the most. The other snares, I don't know. They're just a bit more sort of like rock snares or something. This was my favorite one for metal. So anyway, let's hear the drums by themselves. But the room sounds amazing, and the kicks, I love the kicks. Huge toms. Those toms are so massive. All right, so let's run through. We've got a bunch of presets. So let's go the natural. So this is, as you can tell, very raw. I do like how quick it loads too. There's no loading time. If I just click another preset, it's just pretty much instant, which is rare. See what I mean about the snares too? It's very almost sounds more like a rock snare or something, but they don't sound like they're like that's. I'm pretty sure they're at max velocity, but it doesn't sound like a rim shot or nothing. That one sounds good. So now we go into the processed. Going to the smashed. So this is very over processed. This has a lot of reverb, a lot of, you know, just way more processing than any of the others. The toms sound fantastic. You get 3 different sets of toms, which is really good. You can of course mix and match, so you could choose a different snare and kick there. So then you got some detuned and crushed ones. Then you got weird broken effects, like effects ones. So like that's it. So you can't deny that's not the biggest drum kit over there. And then they got the Doom kit as well, which is one, it looks way better, I'll tell you that. But I really like the sound of this because I really like the snare. the Doom kit process just sounds monstrous. It's a little over the top for my mixes, but I mean, if that's the sound you're looking for, you won't find a bigger drum kit. This was the preset I came up with. There you go, Ragnar Drums. Okay, so you got the mixer here. You can mess with the close overheads and room mics of every piece. You can change the tuning, as you can see. I brought my snare right down. I like a low snare, but some of them were a little too low. But the Doom snare was a little high, and then so I just brought it down, but I thought it sounded really good. The effects got the equalizer, dynamic drive, and reverb, so you can basically use all those individually as well, which is good. You've got the snare smash button down here, which is basically that over processed smash stuff, and you can bring it down a bit. So if I just solo, that's the snare. And you can change the EQ and everything. Really good. You can get right down to the nitty gritty of it all. You got your routing, your groove player. You do get a bunch of grooves, not a lot, but you know, it'll get you started for songs and stuff. And then you got your MIDI map. You can change your MIDI map to suit Easy Drummer, Stephen Slate drums, Get Good drums, Crim drums, ML drums. Like, it's got all the usual stuff, which is really good. Especially if you want to put this into a song you've already done and you were using, say, ML drums, you can switch this to that MIDI map. So that's really fantastic. So there you go, guys. Ragnar Drums, Fenrir amp. I really like Ragnar Drums. Fenrir, I don't know if it would replace anything that I usually use, but it's a good sounding amp. But Ragnar Drums, if you're looking for that huge, over-the-top, doom metal sound, you know, you can't go wrong with this. It just sounds absolutely monstrous compared to most things. Mix ready, chuck it in, off it goes. Minimal tweaking, but you do get a lot. Like I said, 18 cymbals. You get 5 kicks and snares. You get 3 sets of toms. So you can really, you know, make a good sounding thing for yourself. All right. Thank you again, Solemn Tones. Like and subscribe, guys. Enjoy indeed. Thanks, guys.